Hello, mentors. Thank you so much for your flexibility in choosing to have a video sent to you. I hope this is helpful and I'll be as succinct as I possibly can and give you the information you need to assist your students in this final phase. Now, by the end of this video, what I'm hoping is that you'll have a little bit more of an idea about their final assessment and how you can help them with that. So let's talk quickly through the assessment. Consolidating practice, this section. So they will need to have filmed a 45 to 60 minute class and then a 15-minute recorded reflection. So it's going to be quite a lot. They're going to need to get to me to be able to mark quite a lot of video content. Now you'll be able to help them choose which class would be most appropriate to use to film from the groups they've been working with. Not necessarily a class that is easy, but just wherever you think, they'll be able to fulfill the assessment criteria most successful with. So they'll need to provide me with the lesson plan, the video of the class, as well as the video of the reflection. There will be particular questions given for them to reflect on, so they don't have to just make up that 15 minutes. And that will be talked about in great detail with the students in a couple of weeks when I have them for their final either video or meeting. So they will understand what they need to talk about much more on the reflection after that. What we are looking to mark in this, we want to see that they have basic knowledge and understanding of planning, delivery, and use of different teaching strategies for that specific group of learners. So is it age appropriate? Are they using some different forms of teaching strategies? So we're seeing perhaps some reciprocal, some variety in the teaching strategies. And are they able to write that clearly in a lesson plan? So I'm able to follow it and see. We all know that things go wrong. So they shouldn't panic if the lesson plan things change. They have to adapt things in class because, as we all know, that happens to all of us. So they will plan the class to the best of their ability, and then they may find that some things just don't work, or they realize they need more work on something and they have to go in a bit of a different direction and it doesn't go 100% to the plan. Don't let them panic about that. They'll then be able to talk about that in their reflection about what worked, what didn't, what they would do differently next time, because that's also something we have to be able to mark. Basic knowledge and understanding of class management skills, including safe practice. So with the safe practice, just making sure that they check for injuries, that there's differentiation if there are students who have different needs in the class, and of course a water break and a safe space to dance in. Effective use of feedback in relation to the aims of the activity. So students sometimes go a little bit, we try and give feedback on everything, I think, because there's so much to fix always in ballet. But if you can encourage the students to make sure their feedback is specific and particularly tied to the aims and objectives of that lesson. Of course, we're going to fix other things as well, particularly if they're doing something dangerous, but as much as possible, you want to try and keep it really focused. So we're not overwhelming students with 15 corrections at the same time, but trying to keep it very focused. Effective use of ballet vocabulary and teacher demonstration. So of course, it'll be important in that video that I can see them and the students. So I can, and of course, hear them as well. So I know I can check that they are using ballet vocabulary and that they are demonstrating in a way that's appropriate to the age and the level they are teaching. And the final thing we have to assess is the student ability to reflect on their own teaching, to evaluate their own practice, and to plan for improvement. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if things don't go 100% perfectly in the class, because then it gives them the chance in the reflection to show that they understood that it didn't go perfectly and what they would do differently in the future. So that is the final thing we have to assess them on. So that's what you're helping to prepare the students for. Now, this is due on the 20th of October, along with both the other pieces of work they've already submitted. So the phase 1 and phase 2 work, I have already given them extensive feedback on it. So provided that they follow the suggestions I've made and the things I've done to help them, they need to make sure those are updated, all my suggestions are taken on board, and those are ready to submit at the same time as these videos. Now, it's easy for things to go wrong with long videos, with uploading and things. So I would advise them to have a little bit of spare time in there, just so there's not panic on the 20th if they're still trying to upload at the last minute. It's nice if it's done a little bit before, so there's not that stress, just with all the technical issues. Now, everything's obviously got to be finished by then. All the lessons, all the teaching, the whole module will be completely finished when they put that in on the 20th of October. Now, remember, you don't have to assess the students' work. You can give them constructive feedback, you can support them. Something you can do that's really helpful is support them with getting the consent for filming the final assessment for phase 3, because you'll need consent from the children. Anyone who is going to be in that video, they'll need to be consent forms, and that will need to be held onto by the student right through until the assessment and everything is complete and they have the marks back, and then they'll be able to get rid of it. But until then, they will need to hold on to that consent. So that is something you can definitely support the students in helping them to get consent from anyone they wish to use in that final class. Also, if they're sort of vacillating about which class to use, you can also support them in choosing which would be the best class for them to film to fulfill that criteria we've just talked about. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more of an idea of what we're at and what needs to be done before the 20th of October. I will, of course, see the students again, or send them a video if that's what they choose, in a couple of weeks with lots more detail. I'm going to also attach with these videos the ones that I sent to the students a few weeks ago. So that will include details about the final assessment in one video, and the other video is feedback on their last assessment. Of course, you don't have to watch those. This is the important one for you. But if you do want to have a little look at what I sent to the students, I have attached it for you. I will attach it into this as well, just so you have that information to have a glance at if you need to. I hope that's given you a lot more information about where we're at. Please feel very free to email at any time. I'm away adjudicating a lot at the moment, as you know, with the Stedford season, but always very happy to answer emails and help with anything I can. And of course, anything I don't know the answer to, I will look further up and inquire for you. Thank you so much for your attention. Hope this has been helpful, and look forward to touching base with you all soon. All the best.